So this was the amazing breakfast spread this morning. And Michelle, one of the owners, is making French toast. The bread is all handmade. And the apple jelly is made from apples on the trail.
So, day 2, and this is going to be a big one. This will be the longest day of the 9 days, 38 kilometers. My hope is to get from here, Alberton, and walk all the way to Portage. I'll be staying in O'Leary, which is, I think it's about 24 kilometers from here. But I need to try and get a little bit further than that in order to even out the days and then the next day get to where I need to go. So the owner of the next bed and breakfast, her husband has very kindly offered to pick me up in Portage at about 5 o'clock. So I have to keep up a pretty significant pace today. It's 8 o'clock right now. That breakfast at the Le Petit France bed and breakfast was amazing. It's a shame I don't have a bigger appetite because I wanted to try everything on the table. I ended up having some muesli, yogurt, and fresh fruit. And without even asking for it, Michelle brought out 2 pieces of French toast, which I normally would have passed on, but it was so delicious. So I had that too with some apple juice. So the tummy is full and ready to go. And I stop in about 11 kilometers today. Feeling pretty good today. It's about 20 degrees right now, but humid. And it's supposed to be the same today as yesterday. 23, 24 degrees with a humidex of 31 to 32. Pretty hot and sticky. But I would rather this than rain. It's overcast right now, but there's supposed to be a little bit of sunshine later in the day. I haven't actually been distance hiking for a long time. I've always been a big outdoors person, especially from my teens on. I remember my dad taking us to Mount Monadnock in New Hampshire and climbing to the top of it. And that was a big game changer for me. I thought that was the absolute coolest and most freeing thing. And then in my later teens, I met up with a guide leader. Her name was Becky. I owe a lot to that girl. She was a huge outdoors woman, and she taught me a lot about the basics of outdoor survival and winter camping, hiking. And from then on, wherever I went on my travels, I would always try and get out and hike or climb something, but never more than 10 kilometers, usually around 6 kilometers. And then life took a turn, and right after life took a turn, COVID hit, so it took another sharp turn. And about the only thing we could do was get out and walk. And it wasn't that long ago, about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, my house was literally across the street from the Trans-Canada Trail. And I remember one day wondering, I wonder if you can walk from here to Kingston. And how cool would that be? So in September of this year, September in 2020, I decided to try it. And I did some research and joined the Rideau Trail Association. And between September and, I can't remember, I think March or April, maybe April or May, because part of it I had to wait till spring. But anyway, I completed in its parts the entire Rideau Trail from Kingston to Ottawa and back, because I did pretty much all of it solo. And when you do it solo, you have to park your car, hike for about 10 to 15 kilometers, and then you got to hike back. So technically, I've done all 374 kilometers of the Rideau Trail twice. I realized back in September, that very first day, that I passed 10 kilometers. And when I passed 10 kilometers, I don't know if this is for everyone who distance hikes, but it's like I'm walking into another zone. And something happens. It's very seamless. It's very kind of floaty-like. But the greens seem greener. It's like the senses of smell, sight, and hearing all get super magnified. There are so many shades of green. And you notice little differences in flowers, and the smells are different. You can smell the difference between a humid day and a dry day, and you can smell, even though you can't see a marsh, you know you're close to the marsh, you can smell the different flowers and the different kinds of trees, things that I notice, but not to this degree. And hearing, the wind makes so many different sounds, and the trees make so many different sounds. It's really quite incredible when you hit that 10-kilometer mark. The 10-kilometer mark and beyond is also when my brain just clears. Everything in my life makes sense. Things that I found so confusing and had a difficult time understanding the why, it just answers. Answers seem to come to me after 10 kilometers. And so as much as I do like doing the short little distances, especially if it leads to like a waterfall or the top of a mountain, the long distances are the ones that make the biggest profound difference in my life. This whole potato field has all flowered. It's gorgeous. I am now at the 11-kilometer mark. I'm making really good time. I think I did that 11K in about 2 hours. It's just after 10. And that's going to be my just a little 15-minute rest break. Change my socks and have a drink. And I gotta go pee. This looks like a good spot. This morning, I've been thinking of that quote, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." And I've been thinking it more on an emotional level. how sometimes emotionally that journey can be out of loss or sadness, and a destination seems not even in the cards. But when you take that single step, it opens things up. And for me, that single step taken through hiking was also the single step that I've taken emotionally. And now that journey is so short and easily attained. And I now know that when I come up against similar journeys, I just have to tell myself, take that one step. Only you can decide what that first one step is going to be. It might be getting out of bed. It might be calling your therapist. Maybe journaling. Making yourself a nice meal. Or getting a haircut. That first step will be different for everyone. For me, it was a combination of a lot of those things. But you'll find it. And when you do, that journey of 1,000 miles, you'll do it. Beautiful. I'm coming through a section that sloped up a little bit. It's got some little turns. It's incredibly lush and green, and it's full of ferns and mosquitoes, but it's beautiful. It's a bit different than the straight through farmers' fields of earlier. Song of the day. I love to go wandering along the island track, and as I go, I love to sing my knapsack on my back. Baldry, Baldra, Baldry, Baldra, Baldry, Baldra, my knapsack on my back. High overhead the skylark wings, they never rest at home. And just like me, they love to sing as o'er the world they roam. Baldry, Baldra, Baldry, Baldra, Baldry, Baldra, as o'er the world they roam. With my knapsack on my back. So I just met up with Buddy on a lawnmower tractor. Super sweet guy. Called me little lady. He also said that I was one brave woman. And he had some advice. He said, don't wear earphones when you're on the trail, because ATVers aren't supposed to be on the trail. He says a lot of times they are. And he's been grooming the Confederation Trail for 22 years. And he loves his job. Super sweet guy. So I've heard about hikers talk about trail magic on different trails as they're hiking. And that's when you think of something and all of a sudden it appears. Like you're really thirsty and you're out of water, and all of a sudden a place appears where you can get water. Well, I was just thinking how much I had to go to the bathroom, and thinking, oh, I wish there was a washroom so I didn't have to stop in the woods. And I come around that bend, and what the heck? There's an outhouse right here, like in the middle of nowhere. And not only is it an outhouse, but it is the nicest, cleanest outhouse. I was thinking, oh, I better get my Kleenex because there's probably not toilet paper. Better make sure I have my hand sanitizer. Nope. It's all there. Trail magic. Stone structures are all along the trail, and they were built to support the water tanks for the steam engines. And they were tall wooden structures that held the water. And in the higher the grade, which I just came up a nice little grade, the more frequent they needed to place these water towers. I'm coming up to the 40K marker, 5 more K, and I'll be in O'Leary for a bit of lunch. It's 12:30 now, and the humidity is making it, as I always say, stinking hot. And there are tons of mosquitoes. Final kilometer and a half to O'Leary before I stop for lunch. It's 25 with a humidex of 32. There's a decent number of mosquitoes, even with my deep woods off on. And the sun has just started to come through the clouds. If you notice, this last section of trail has very little, if no shade. Once again, it's what? Stinking hot. I made it. The feet are a little tender. The shoulders are a little sore. It's been a challenging last, I guess, hour, but I made it. There's lunch. Delish. That and a pear. And the sign right in front of me says 46 kilometers to Wellington, which is where I want to be tomorrow. This is O'Leary, which is where I'm sleeping tonight. But in order to get to Wellington tomorrow, I have to do another 14 kilometers. Yeah, 14 kilometers today. And that'll give tomorrow a 32 kilometer day. But yeah, I'm laying down right now. I'm gonna give myself about a 30-minute break. My pickup is meeting me in Portage at 5 o'clock. So if I can keep up this rate and leave here at exactly 2, start walking at 2, I should get to Portage at exactly 5 o'clock. I just can't slow down. I got this. Right, so I'm about 5 minutes later than I wanted to be because I decided that I was going to pop into the gas station and get some Gatorade. I've been sweating like crazy. The temperature is now 25 with a humidex of 34. Thank goodness it's overcast again. Just kind of a light haze of sun coming through. But it's hot, and I've already done 25 kilometers, and I have just under 14 more to go. And times like this, it can sometimes be a little bit hard to be motivated. The mind is willing, the body, not so much. My shoulders are quite sore. My feet feel like I've just done a double shift at Eaton's during Christmas in high heels. Anyone who's worked retail knows exactly the feeling I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm going to try and step up the pace here. And it's just past 2 now, and I have about 3 hours to go. So, onward. Oh my goodness. There's a smell I love. Wild roses. Oh, so nice. So I'm about 7.5 kilometers from where I want to be, and I'm about maybe 30 minutes behind schedule. There are definite rumblings in the distance of thunder. I'm so hot, I don't mind getting wet right now. I've got my pack covered, ready to go. There is one other bailout option, which is in about 3 kilometers from here, where I could get picked up. It's where the trail crosses another main road. But the challenge with that is, and tomorrow, instead of having a 32 kilometer day, I'll have a 36 kilometer day, which is an hour longer. And I was really hoping to get this challenging day out of the way and take an hour off of tomorrow. So, the best laid plans, one of the joys of hiking, one of the things I've learned, is I was very much a planner, and with my hiking, those plans I know can change in a blink of an eye. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that 34 kilometer spot and reassess from there. If I'm too tired, I'll give them a call. And she said they're only about 15 minutes from that spot and 20 minutes from Portage. So I can always wait there for them. Yeah. It's at times like this when the shoulders are so sore and the humidity is so high. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm tired. My shout out today goes to my dear old dad, because boy oh boy, Dad, you taught me so much, and for that I'm so thankful. But you know, you taught me that if you start something, you finish it. And you taught me that to be tenacious does not mean that you're stubborn. Although I gotta say, in your old age, you know, the stubborn's starting to show through. You drive me crazy, and I love you to bits. I really do. So, Dad, I just want to thank you for all of those qualities that you imparted on me, that others sometimes have a difficult time with them. But hey, they work for us, right? Here I am, and I'm bringing you with me. You would have hated the walking, Dad, but boy oh boy, you would have loved hitting this trail on your bike. The big dark cloud got me right at my decision-making point, but that gave me quick time to put on my really sexy orange poncho. I spoke with Lily. She said not a problem, she can pick me up at 5:30 if I want to finish all the way to Portage. So, one more hour, 4 kilometers, pouring rain, and being in this rain jacket is, sorry, I'm watching my mouth. It's a little bit like being in one of those sweatsuits. My kids will remember some of the professional judoka when they were trying to make weight. They would put them in garbage bags and they would run around the track. Well, it's kind of like that. Anyway, it's really pouring down. I got to put away my phone, but I'll let you know when I get there in 4 kilometers safe and sound. This calls for a second song of the day. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden along with the sunshine. There's gotta be a little rain sometimes. So that's it, that road up there. Hopefully Lily's waiting for me. Right now it's 39.7 kilometers, so even a little further than I thought. It's probably going to be 40 by the time I finish. And oh, The mosquitoes after the rain are insane. They're all over me. I'm sweating with this raincoat, but I don't have time to take it off. But I'm almost there.
So I did it, and you can tell by how lovely I look. I just had a shower. It was crazy. I did 40.2 kilometers today, total. And the last half hour was a bit of a race in the rain so that I would meet Lily on time. She was there waiting. She is sweet. She is adorable. And I'm not sure if I said, but last night when I was at the restaurant sitting alone, I was facing 12 elderly women. And they were having a great time. As it turns out, one of those women was Lily. Those are her 12 friends that get together for coffee every morning. And they get together every now and again for dinner. And last night just happened to be one of the dinners. And they actually noticed me. And they were going to invite me over. And I said, oh, I wish you had have, because they looked like they were having fun. She's got the sweetest little room for rent. There's a door that goes out to a porch, and she's got a bird feeder right out there, which is awesome because you get to see all of these really cool birds. And she's got a really nice gazebo, and you're allowed to go out and use it. She says she uses it almost every night. And yeah, there's the messy room, things out to dry. But it's comfortable. It's got a double bed, and it has a twin bed. Yeah, so her husband Clayton, adorable. It's his birthday. They brought me a piece of birthday cake. The problem is after hiking 40 kilometers, I actually had to force myself to eat a Caesar salad and a banana and some chocolate milk because I am so tired and sore. I'm just not feeling hungry, but I know I have to eat. So tomorrow's definitely shorter, 32 kilometers. So it's going to be about at least an hour and a half, if not 2 hours less of hiking time. But it's still going to be about an 8-hour day. And I have a taxi coming to meet me at the Wellington Co-op for 5 o'clock. So hopefully I can get out of bed in the morning. Right now I've rubbed myself down with Arnicare and I've had some ibuprofen. So we'll see how that works. Tomorrow's another day. Day 2 down.